I always believed that trust was the unshakable foundation of any relationship. For 8 years, that belief was my anchor, steadying me through life's inevitable storms. But trust, real unbreakable trust, is a delicate thread, one that can fray quietly, almost imperceptibly, until one day you find yourself surrounded by ruins, wondering exactly when everything began to unravel. My wife, Claire, had been my whole world. We met in college, and from the very first moment, I was certain I'd found my partner for life. Together, we dreamed, built a home, and raised 2 beautiful children. Our life was far from perfect, but it was ours, and that was enough, or so I thought. Then the little things started to change. Subtle shifts in her behavior that I rationalized as stress or exhaustion. She began coming home later than usual, citing work meetings that never quite added up. Her phone transformed into a fortress she guarded with nervous care, slipping out of sight whenever I entered the room. And then there was a faint but unmistakable scent of a perfume that wasn't hers lingering in the air. My gut twisted with suspicion, but I fought against the growing darkness in my mind. Maybe she was just tired. Maybe the pressures of life were weighing heavily on her. Denial became a daily battle, a fragile shield against the creeping truth. But truth has a way of demanding attention. One quiet evening, after the children had fallen asleep, I found her phone left unlocked on the kitchen counter. My heart pounded fiercely, the weight of what I was about to do pressing down on me. Hesitating only for a moment, I glanced at the screen and froze. Messages from a man I didn't know. Flirtatious texts, suggestive photos, plans to meet. My mind spun wildly. How long had this been going on? How could she betray everything we had built? Anger and hurt surged through me, but I knew confrontation in that moment would be futile. I had to understand the full story before deciding how to move forward. For days, I watched quietly, silently observing her every movement, her calls, her texts, all under the veil of secrecy. She never suspected I had uncovered her truth. Then came the night she claimed she was meeting friends. I stayed home, pretending to work late, waiting in the shadows of our living room. When she walked in, I saw it in her eyes, an unguarded flicker of surprise, a shadow of guilt. The glowing screen in my hand was a harsh testament to betrayal she had hoped to keep hidden. I asked her softly, almost hesitantly, "Who is he?" Her face drained of color. She stammered, then finally confessed. The room seemed to spin as she spoke, the words heavy, trembling barely above a whisper. She hadn't meant for it to happen. She never wanted to hurt me. Loneliness, invisibility, the growing distance between us while I was buried in work and the chaos of raising kids. She said it all began as harmless texting, a fleeting escape, but it quickly spiraled into secret meetings and stolen moments, a connection she couldn't resist. Each word cut deep, but beneath the pain, an unexpected relief washed over me. The secret I had carried alone was now shared, and the suffocating weight of silence lifted ever so slightly. "How long?" I asked, my voice barely steady. "Almost 6 months," she whispered, tears slipping down her cheeks. 6 months. Half a year of betrayal under the same roof. Her confession unleashed a torrent of memories. Missed dinners, unexplained absences, the subtle coldness that crept into our nights. How had I missed all of it? Torn between anger and heartbreak, I felt shattered but also confused. Was this the end? Could we salvage anything from this wreckage? She begged for a chance, counseling, forgiveness, a path to healing. I didn't respond. I just sat there, trying to absorb a lifetime of pain in mere minutes. The house felt eerily silent afterward. The familiar sounds of life, the kids laughing, the clatter of dishes, casual conversation, were replaced by a heavy stillness that pressed against my chest like a physical weight. Sitting on the edge of the couch, I struggled to breathe through the storm inside me. Betrayal, confusion, anger, love, heartbreak, all swirling in a chaotic whirlpool of emotions. How do you reconcile such conflicting feelings when the person you trusted most has been lying to you? Claire retreated to the bedroom, leaving me alone with my thoughts and the cold glow of her phone, a stark reminder of the secret life she had hidden from me. It felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, unsure whether to jump, turn back, or try to build a bridge across the chasm that now divided us. I thought about the kids, Our innocent children who had no idea what was unraveling beneath their roof. Would they ever see their mother the same way? Could I ever look at her without that bitter taste of betrayal haunting my mind? For hours, I replayed moments in my head. Had I missed signs? Could I have done something differently? The questions were endless, but answers remained stubbornly out of reach. Sleep was impossible. Every creak in the house made my heart leap. Every passing car outside felt like a countdown to the next disaster. Days passed, but nothing felt the same. Claire and I shared the same space, but lived in separate worlds. Our conversations became clipped, the warmth between us replaced by awkward silences and guarded glances. She tried to apologize, to explain how lost she had felt, but her words echoed with guilt and regret. I wanted to scream, to cry, to break something, but I bottled it all up, a storm raging just beneath a calm surface. The children noticed the shift. Their smiles grew forced, their questions about Mom's mood met with vague answers. I wondered if I was protecting them, or simply postponing an inevitable truth they would have to face. One afternoon, I found Claire sitting alone in the backyard, staring out the horizon as if searching for answers that would never come. I approached quietly and sat beside her. "I need to know why," I said softly. "Why did you do it?" Her eyes filled with tears. "I felt invisible," she confessed, "like I was just part of the furniture. You were always busy with work, the kids, life. I needed to feel wanted, to feel alive." Her words pierced my heart. It was then I realized the distance between us wasn't just about betrayal. It was about the slow erosion of love and connection. But could we fix it? Was there even a path back? In the days that followed, Claire and I tried to rebuild, but the cracks ran deeper than either of us imagined. Counseling sessions peeled back layers of unspoken disappointments, unmet needs, and silent frustrations. Every tentative step forward met with hesitation. Trust, once broken, does not mend easily. I caught myself searching her eyes for signs, honesty or deceit, and she wrestled with her own guilt, desperate to prove she wanted to change. Yet despite everything, there were moments, small but precious, when I glimpsed the woman I married. Her genuine laugh, a smile not forced, a touch that felt real. Those moments reminded me why I loved her. But love alone wasn't enough to erase the pain. The betrayal lingered like a shadow, and I had to decide if I could live with it or if I had to walk away. One quiet evening, after the kids were asleep, we sat down, not as enemies, but as two people trying to find a way forward. I told her forgiveness wouldn't come easily or quickly. Healing would take time, and we both had to be brutally honest, not just with each other, but with ourselves. Tears glistened in her eyes as she promised to fight for our marriage, if I was willing to fight too. The road ahead would be long and uncertain, with no guarantees and no easy fixes. But beneath the pain and heartbreak, a fragile light flickered, a hope that maybe, just maybe, love could find its way back. She had no idea I knew about her affair until that moment she came home. That moment changed everything. But it also gave us a chance to face the truth, to decide what kind of future we wanted. Sometimes, the hardest battles lead to the strongest beginnings.